Since I never filmed an actual intro clip to this vlog, let me just tell you that in this vlog, it's very random and chaotic in some ways, but it's about everything we did over the week leading up to the 12-hour marathon, and everything we did as a family, the different events we went to, and then me prepping and preparing for the 12-hour marathon and trying to finish up organizing my files so that I could do the 12-hour marathon without, you know, worrying about various things. So that's what this vlog is about, so enjoy.
But that's good that you got another strike.
And every time Mom's not recording.
Of course. Why would I be recording when you get a strike? That makes way too much sense.
She's more likely to record you when you get a gutter ball than a strike.
That's exactly what I've caught so far, is every single time they've got a gutter ball. Get it. No, dang it.
Oh.
I need to teach her how to run. Do you wish you weren't bored?
Don't mind lie to you, yes he does.
What's up?
It's been longer for me than it has for you guys.
Last time I bowled, I actually got mostly strikes.
Nicely done.
One good.
Is the loneliest.
Whoa, oh. Okay,
There
you've
we
got
go.
this. You've got that.
Right down the center. There you go.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. Oh yes. If they're allowed to have it down there, they can have it down there.
There you go. Let me know.
Ooh, I smell the spice. You got one more, Gwen. The last frame, you get 3 chances. That's how it's played.
It's also where you can get the points and strike every 3 times.
Nicely done.
Our favorites here.
I'm pretty certain I got your strike on film.
I want to eat, but you're filming.
And give me a second. Pretty good, actually. Pretty good. Where are you going?
I don't know.
You can sit. Go ahead. You're not in the way, Gwen. I don't know why you're acting like you are. Oh, wait. Nope. Thus ends the game. Ways.
Oh, you're using.
That was almost a strike. I think the answer is she needs to start using a ball.
Yeah, but she said her finger was getting stuck in the
I
air.
used Grace's.
Oh.
So it got larger holes.
Yeah.
So,
Okay.
yeah.
There's a difference between holes in each ball.
Yeah. They do that on purpose because fingers aren't the same size for everybody.
Exactly.
She needed was a ball that stuck on.
Nope.
That's exactly what it was.
That kills your theory. She just needed a lighter ball.
Well, eight's not. Well, yeah.
The numbers are the weight, Justin. An 8 ball is an 8-pound ball. A 9 ball is a 9-pound ball. A 10 is a 10-pound ball. That's why sometimes I can use a 10-pound, but by the end of the game, I'm down to 8.
I can't remember how heavy the ball I used to use was. Didn't we buy you a ball, but you got holes drilled into it?
No. That was always the plan. I never found one I liked. Actually, I did find one I liked. I didn't have the $400 to buy it. And then the $150 to get it holes drilled.
Share.
Hey Dragonlings, welcome to another vlog. There's a few things that I want to do this week in preparation for the 12-hour marathon that Stephanie and I decided to do. I should have probably announced this in my last vlog because by the time you see this, we'll have already completed the 12-hour marathon. But this weekend, from Saturday evening into Sunday morning, we're doing a 12-hour marathon where we start at 6 p.m. Mountain Time. We're going to do 6 hours over on her channel, which I'll have linked in the description. And then we're going to have an hour break before we come back to my channel at 1 a.m. Mountain Time and do 6 hours on my channel. So it's going to be fun. I'm going to be dead tired because earlier that day on Saturday, my family and I are going to a reptile expo. We have not been to a reptile expo once since we moved up here, but there's one that's less than an hour away and we're like, we're going. We used to have a bearded dragon. He passed away when he was 15 years old after we moved up here, like in 2022, 2023. I don't remember which year. It was either the end of 2022 or the beginning of 2023, and I honestly cannot remember which. Dates are not my forte. But anyways, we used to have a bearded dragon, and I want a snake, and eventually I want a lizard of some type again, whether it's a bearded dragon or actually I really want a monitor or a blue-tongued skink. I am a reptile person. There's dragon bloodlines in my household. I want the cold-blooded reptiles. But as far as snakes go, I want a hognose. Oh my god, they're so adorable. They would I want to boop their snoots. Anyways, that's neither here nor there. So we're going to a reptile expo. And we're going to have fun. And then I get to come back and do this marathon. So I'm going to be dead tired. It was not the best weekend. To be fair, we learned about the reptile expo last Friday, something like that. And Stephanie and I have been planning this marathon for a month now. In fact, actually, we started planning it right before the 7-day book challenge happened in March. So it's not my fault they happened to fall on the same weekend. But anyways, so there's a few things that I want to get done before that. The first is that I would like to completely finish writing and updating Changeling. This was a short story. I think it was on one of my live streams. In my last vlog, I was reorganizing stuff and moving files and making sure everything's in one place. And one of the things I thought about on one of the live streams, thanks to Stephanie, is the fact that I have completed works from previous anthologies that I could put out as like standalone pieces. Because I'm doing that anyway with all the short stories I've been working on, with these, especially the Sultry Solstices 7 short story series. Like, they're no longer than 10 to 15,000 words, and Changeling, I think, was about 8,000 words. So there's no reason why I couldn't put out at least that particular one. I'd have to look at some of the other anthology pieces I've put out over the years, but that one has not been published since 2017. So I'm doing, as I transfer the files over, I'm doing a complete overhaul of it, as far as like editing and tidying up the prose and stuff like that. I might be adding some few details in here and there and adding some extra stuff. We'll see when I get to that point. But I want to complete that before this weekend and get that done. And then I also want to finish getting all the files that I've got in various places where they need to be and whatever files are supposed to be. They're mostly short stories, so I want to get all the short stories moved over. And I've got, 19 files left to go through and do that with. Those are all the corrupted files that I found. And then after that, I will go from there as far as the short stories go. I do imagine I still have short stories elsewhere. They're just not in a currently viable location. And the reason I know I have more than that is because I have more to check off on my list than just 19 stories. But I don't know where the rest are. So we'll cover that bridge when we get there. As long as I can get these 19 done,
we're good to go. We're going to go start with that. And then I want to finish up Changeling. So those are the two things I want to do before the weekend. And then for the marathon, I would like to finish up A Buck Short and Presumed Dead. Between the two streams, depending on how much chit chat we do on the two streams, I really feel like Presumed Dead, I just need to finish the epilogue. It's gonna be like, I think the current epilogue, let me actually take a look at the current epilogue, because I do not think,
short story series,
I don't think it's more than 3,000 words. Nope, it's 1,000. So it's 1,000 words. I literally just have to rewrite it because I was not happy with the way it is. But it's only about 1,000 words. And this story total is about, it's just over 10,000 words, which I'm trying to keep all the stories in that series about the same length. I just have to write 1,000 words and that short story will be completed. And then A Buck Short, I figured out why I got stuck and I think I know how to fix it. The problem is that the way I've been describing that story in various videos is A Buck Short. I've been describing it as it's about a young witch who comes from a long line of witches, but she herself is not a witch until her mom does an illegal spell that gives her magical powers and finds her a familiar. Her mom doing that spell and her finding out about the spell is the inciting incident, and the way I've got the story now, that doesn't happen until like the 50% mark of the story. That's what's throwing me off, is that I've got too much going on before that event happens. And because of that, I'm not able to wrap up the story correctly because it feels like everything is now being rushed that I wanted to have happen. And that's where my problem lies. So I need to go back. I need to trim out some stuff, change some stuff up, and then I think I'll finally be able to end this. And I'm really hoping I will be able to do that during the 12-hour marathon. It would be really nice to be able to end April with 2 stories, the 2 projects that I wanted done. It would be really nice to be able to get those 2 projects done, plus this organization overhaul that I've been doing. I won't be completely done with the organization overhaul just because I'm missing so much stuff that I'm pretty certain I have to take from printed files into digital files. But if I can get pretty close, I would like that. It would be so nice. So yeah, that's what I'm working on this week. I've got plans and I've got a lot of things to do. But I'm going to go ahead and get to work on fixing these corrupted files and getting them moved over, and we'll go from there. So I'll talk to you guys later. Okay, so I got a little bit of work done, but it wasn't what I was originally going to work on during this lunch break. I have been editing a lot of the videos I've been filming lately, and so like I've gotten all of this week's videos uploaded. I've got next week, I've started filming this vlog obviously, but I've also got I've got 2 videos going out next week instead of just 1, because one's a bonus video. And I even have 2 other videos where I've started making, because it's going to be more slideshow than anything else, I've started making them. So yeah, I'm getting videos done and I'm working on them slowly but surely. So I'm really looking forward to getting all these videos updated. I'm not gonna lie, let's see, I've got those 2 videos. My April wrap up I won't obviously not do until closer to the end. I'll finish it once April is done, then I'll film that one. Then I've got 4 other videos where I've started working on them. As far as like I filmed some stuff from them, but some stuff or I haven't filmed stuff for them, but I've completed my script, my loosely based script, and I've completed like any graphics for them that I need to have ready for the most part. So I've gotten that much done. So now I have left for those 4 videos, other than my wrap-ups, is I have to film all the filming clips that I need to do for them and then go ahead and edit them and get them uploaded. I did discover that uploading goes so much faster at work. Like this video is like 30 minutes long. At my house it would take like 2 hours to upload. Here it's got 30 seconds left to upload. I've only been uploading it for as long as I've been filming this video, because I literally started filming this clip right after I finished getting everything up to date. So that's cool. So note to self, maybe if you're having trouble uploading videos, if you are able to, because you are using your laptop to do stuff, maybe you can take your computer to a hospital and use their Wi-Fi to upload videos. Not saying it'll work, but it might. Anyways, so that's what I've been working on. That's almost done. Something I've been thinking about recently is the fact that we are going to be taking either a trip to North Carolina in October, November, or moving in October, November. We don't know which it is going to be at this point. A lot of it's dealing with financial stuff, but we're also having to think about like where we're going to move to as far as like where we're going to live, both town-wise, residential-wise, all that fun jazz. And then we're also thinking about like jobs and job security and stuff like that. We have been very much a paycheck to paycheck kind of family up until now. In fact, actually, I got a late notice because I forgot to pay a bill last month from Power. So that's fun. I was wondering why we had some extra money. It wasn't extra money, I had kept it aside because I didn't know what bill it went to. Figured it out. Okay, anyways, the whole point of that was the fact that I'm taking all these classes on Coursera. That's the website I use for the different classes I've been taking. I have an annual subscription right now that I'm trying out for this year. As I do all these classes for bookkeeping, I'm taking some writing courses. I think I'm in the middle of like 4 classes right now currently. 2 of them dealing with bookkeeping, 1 of them dealing with writing, and 1 of them dealing with something else. I can't remember what off the top of my head. It's been a couple days since I looked at it, and I just signed up for that one. But I'm taking all these courses, and I'm doing all this online stuff with the intention of getting a job that is remote, so that it doesn't really matter if I'm on the road, because like driving from Montana to North Carolina is a 4-day drive, and because of the fact that we live paycheck to paycheck, I am so afraid of going any amount of time, an extended period of time, without a job. I'm very much of the mindset that you get a new job before you quit a job. That way, unless you've got savings built up and you've got that security blanket, basically, that allows you to like just quit on the spot, you need to make sure that you have another job before you quit a current job. And because of the fact that my job has been telling me off and on for years that, not years, months, that I will not be allowed to take off for my sister's wedding, which I am a part of. In fact, actually, my whole family is a part of it. The girls are flower girls. I'm a bridesmaid. Justin just got asked today if he'd be a groomsman, which we were super excited about. So, like, the whole family's in this wedding. I'm not missing my sister's wedding for a goddamn job that doesn't give 2 shits about me, honestly. So, especially when I give them a 1.5 year notice, because I originally told them back in last June that this October, November, I was going to be gone for 2 weeks. But that was a side tangent I didn't mean to get on. My point is that we'll be on the road one way, if we drive, for 4 days. And I don't know yet if we'll be able to fly or if we'll be driving. With all of the new regulations, with flying, the fact that you have to have your real ID to show, I think it was something they tried implementing in 2020, then the pandemic happened, and they kept moving the dates, and I don't know what the dates are now. As far as I know, I am going to treat it like you have to have your real ID in order to get on a plane. I don't have a current license, I don't have a real ID, I don't have a passport, I don't have my birth certificate still. Working on that. Got the final paperwork, found out that it is the actual paperwork I'm supposed to turn in. Now it's just a matter of having the funds to go turn it in and get all my stuff. That one's my fault. This time it's my fault because I did fuck up. I did have the paperwork, I did fill it out, I did turn it in. I submitted the payment incorrectly. That's my bad. But now I've got new paperwork so I can turn that in. So it's just a matter of getting it done. Having the funds to do it first and then getting it done. And then my husband needs his real ID, and I think before we travel on a plane, I think my kids have to have identifications of some sort, and I don't know if their school IDs will work. I think they have to have, we're going to be looking into whether or not they need a state ID in order to fly on a plane. But if we fly, I've got to find someone to take care of the dogs as well as the cats. The cats are much easier to take care of. They don't care because they have a litter box. They don't care they do care when they get fed, but they can go longer periods without being taken care of, is what I'm getting at. Whereas the dogs are so used to a routine, we let them out like every 3 hours because of the fact that one of us works days, one of us works nights. Their sleep schedules are all over the place. They sleep both night and day for various periods of time. That's our bad. So, yeah, we gotta find someone. If we're gonna fly, we gotta find someone to take care of the dogs and the cats. We've got someone to take care of the cats, but the plan was if we drive, we're taking the dogs with us. And truth be told, honestly, when we go on this trip, I would like to move, not just visit. I don't think that's going to happen. I don't think we're going to have the funds. I don't think we're going to have lodging. I don't think we're going to have jobs. But that was one of the reasons why I'm taking these courses, is so that I could possibly have a job. And one of the things I've been thinking about lately is the career path. My goals say that I want to do bookkeeping, and I am interested in bookkeeping still. However, once I get the certification done, I don't want to apply to jobs and do bookkeeping. I want to do freelance bookkeeping. So I've been looking at different avenues as far as that go. My original plan was to open up an LLC, but I haven't completed my certifications. We're getting down to crunch time where I'm like, I need to make sure I have some kind, even if it's just part-time, I need to have some kind of job to have in case I come back from this trip and have no job. Because I'm fully suspecting that's what's going to happen. I have a high suspicion that I'm going to take my trip to North Carolina in October, November, and get back and be told I have no job. That's like worst case scenario, but biggest fear right now. And so I have been hopping around different job ideas. I've been exploring different jobs. I mentioned in the previous vlog I've done different interviews that I've turned down because of work schedules and stuff, and the fact that we have one vehicle and we're having to make it work for two, soon to be 3 people. So one of the thoughts I had today is, what if and it was while I was listening to someone talk about the fact that they were talking on their vlog that they're getting ready to start doing audiobooks, and because they can't afford to pay someone right now, they did audiobooks via AI programs with the intention of they're going to be hiring someone to do audiobooks for them soon. And it got me thinking, I'm like, audiobooks. I'm already planning on doing, at least for the short story, doing my own audiobooks. I have on my channel already 2 short stories that I read aloud on my channel. And it's something I've been intending to play around with anyways. And I already read to my kids. We read, not every day, but at least once a week, we read a chapter of a book. I think currently we're reading, we just finished The Wild Robot. We just finished The Wild Robot, and we're not working on book 2 yet because it's checked out from the library. But we're going to be picking a new book, not this weekend, but next weekend. And so I already read to my kids. The only thing that's really stopped me from doing audiobooks right now is the fact that I have a slight lisp that comes out with the S's, especially if you have a bunch of S's in the world, especially if you have a bunch of S's in a row, like Sultry Solstice's short stories. The fact that I got through that without fucking up really amazes me. So that is one of the things that worries me, plus the fact that I haven't tested it, so I don't know. But based on everything everyone tells me about how audiobooks should be made, I don't have the correct equipment to do audiobooks. That being said, I think one of the next avenues I'm going to start checking out is audiobooks. I want to already do them for myself anyways. Like, I want audiobooks out, and I am also of the classification currently where I can't afford to pay someone else to do them. So why not do them myself? So I'm going to try it. I'm going to try doing my own audiobooks. And if I can get the files done well enough that they are accepted on various audiobook programs such as Audible, and I think there's another audiobook program. That's the other thing I have to research. I have to research companies that are doing audiobooks and how I upload them to stuff like that. I've got a whole bunch of research to do, basically, is what it comes down to. But I think that is something I want to start looking at as far as a career plan goes. It's not something I will necessarily take full time, but it's something I am considering. It's something I want to go ahead and start researching. It's something I want to go ahead and look into as a possibility. I think it would be really cool. I love listening to audiobooks. That is like my favorite medium currently. I usually listen to them while I'm at work. That's why I had a headphone in, is because I listen to audiobooks while I'm at work. I've listened to 2 short stories today alone already, and I'm probably will listen to 2 more before I finish my shift. And I've only got like 2 hours left of my shift. yeah, that's where I stand currently. If this is something I do in the future, I will have those 2 audiobooks linked below of where I've already done videos with short stories that I've read on my channel. And please note, those are not like professionally done, because I just did them like I'm talking to you guys now, and then just edited the heck out of the audio on my end until it sounded good in my ears. So those aren't even what I would consider professional files. So I got a lot of learning to do as far as making them, cleaning them up, and making them as professional as possible. But if I do decide to go that route, I will definitely want more audiobooks under my belt, as far as like having examples of my work, not just my own, because I don't have enough books out in order to do that. I have, as far as like books that I have currently out that I would be willing to do that with, I have Puck's Choice, and I'll get into why I'm not including the 2 Damned and Dangerous quartet books. But I have Puck's Choice and I have Dear Satan, and I might not even do Dear Satan. So I've got 1, possibly 2 short stories that are ready to go now, basically, and Puck's Choice that I would be doing audiobooks. So I would need more audiobooks under my belt. If you have been thinking about doing audiobooks, but you're kind of like me and you can't afford to do audiobooks, and it's not something you are interested in doing for yourself, let me know in the comments, because I might be reaching out to some people who are interested in that kind of thing in the future. Again, not soon, but in the future, if I can make that work and it is something I enjoy doing, it might be something I reach out to people and be like, hey, I need beta readers. You want to do a swap? I'll do you some audiobook files and you can beta read for me. Like, that'd be something I'd be interested in. And then hopefully, maybe, possibly in the future, several months, maybe probably years, let's be real, probably years down the road, maybe that'll turn out to be a career path for me. I don't know. I honestly don't know. It's just something I've been thinking about. So let me know your guys' thoughts below. I'm curious. Oh, I forgot to talk about the second reason. The second reason that I have never done audiobooks is because, like, I cannot change my voice for different, I cannot change my tone for different voices that some people can. And I'm noticing more and more as I listen to different audiobooks, I don't necessarily have to. In fact, actually, some of my favorite audiobooks have listened to so far, some of my favorite audiobooks that I've listened to so far were actually where a narrator wasn't changing their voice. They were doing, like, the inflections of different, like, tones and stuff. Like, if someone raised their voice, it sounded higher than it, or, like, if they were whispering, they changed that. But they didn't do, like, voices for different characters, is what I mean. So that's something that's always stopped me too from doing audiobooks, is because I cannot do voices to save my life. One of the things that when I'm doing this I will have to be very careful of is accidentally slipping into an accent. Because especially, like, if I've been hanging around people or I've listened to stuff where people have an accent, or if it says it has an accent, I will attempt an accent when I probably I should not be doing accents. No thank you. This is my voice, this is how it should sound. So yeah, this is all just things I've been thinking about, especially with the way my current life is headed, as far as, like, the trajectory it's going so far. Yeah.
Baggy, are you sunning yourself? Are you sunning yourself? Roll, roll, roll in the hay. Itchy, itchy, itchy. Meow. Meow. You are too funny. Meow, meow. You don't have to get... Oh, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to wake you up and make you run. So one of the projects that are on our to-do list is this old shed. This shed has been here for 20 years. And yes, it's falling apart, but it's still standing. So I want to use these pallets that I've been taking from work, and I want to build a chicken run here, or chicken fence. There is some fencing here, a lot of it's been knocked down, and then that's cattle barbed wire, so I don't want the chickens running into that. But this used to be a paddock, and most of the paddock pieces are gone. I actually remember the horse that used to be in here. It was my grandfather's stallion. I think his name was JT. That doesn't sound right. I don't remember. Anyways, beautiful horse. No longer here, obviously. But yeah, I want to put up a chicken run here using the pallets and some cattle panel, and because we got plenty of cattle panel to use, and probably T-posts to put it up. So that's one of our weekend projects that we'll be doing. And then we'll be moving the chicken coop over here so that the chickens can run out and eat, you know, grass. Now that it's warming up. Between these 3 stacks, I think I have 19 pallets. That should be plenty of pallets to make a decent sized run. Maybe. That's the plan, at least. We'll see. And then I've got some field fencing. There's some field fencing, not field fencing, that's hardware cloth. I got some hardware cloth right there. The round pen itself had field fence on it, so I don't know. We're going to be trying a few things. Still probably have to get a bunch of supplies, but I need to make it so that hawks and chickens can't get to it too. So I don't know exactly how I'm going to do that yet. I might have to get some decoy crows and ravens. But yeah, going to be building a run for them soon. Hopefully not this weekend, but next weekend maybe. Here are some scrap cattle panel pieces that were cut down for various things. We'll probably use those first. I don't remember what that wood is for, but we'll use that as well. And yeah, this is a gate, an old gate. The gate's underneath the panel on the grass. So yeah, that's what we'll use at first to help build this thing. And then we got plenty of T-posts too if I can find my post hole driver. Fun stuff!
Why is it with most fake dating books, movies, whatever it is, the couple is revealed to be fake from outside sources? Like 99.9% of the time, it's an outside source revealing that they were fake dating. Can I just, for once, have a story where the couple are fake dating and whatever event they're going to that they have to be fake dating for goes to plan? Like everything goes beautifully, everything goes perfectly, because honestly that would make me enjoy it more, because that is what would really reveal that they're meant to be a couple. And can we just have them outed by themselves? Like, can they out themselves, not even at the event, but like after the event is done? Why is it whenever there's a fake dating trope in any book, the reveal of them being a fake date is the fact that someone shows up at the event that wasn't invited, or something happens at the event that wasn't planned to reveal that they are fake dating? Like, just for once, can I have them get through the event, whatever it is, without a hitch, and then maybe, I don't know, feel guilty about it afterwards, and then come back and reveal that no, we were never a couple, it was all fake? Or even better, they realize, okay, I watched a movie just now, I just finished it, it's called About Fate, where she takes this guy to her sister's wedding. And you know, if you go to a wedding, there's going to be pictures, you're going to talk to people who you're never going to see again if you're in a fake dating relationship or fake relationship. So can we like have the relationship exposed because of the fact that everyone after the event's over, like, where's so-and-so? And they're like, oh, about that, it wasn't real. And then everyone else is like, it sure looked real to us, kind of thing. Like, can I have that? I want that so badly. And 99.9% of the time, someone or something happens at the event that outs them as fake. I just want them to reveal it themselves. For once. If you guys know of any suggestions, movies, books, whatever, where that happens, where the couple reveals it themselves, it's not any outside source fucking things over for them, let me know, because I want that. I want that so badly.
Look at these needy puppies. I'm trying to get up so I can leave, and he is like all over me. He just wants my hand. I move my hand away and he goes after it. He just wants the pets. He just wants the pets. He just wants the pets. Mwah. Mwah. Oh, you stink. Need a bath. Need a bath. Jester delivering. I'm so left out. Jester. I don't know if you heard that, but Justin just got attacked by something. Oh, hi, Chester, babe. Hi, Chester, pup. Chester, pup. Chester, pup. Chester. I got it in my mouth. Ew.
Okay, I've only got a couple minutes before I have to go wake up my kids for school. And the cat is annoying me by meowing at me from across the room. So I wanted to update you guys on where I stand. The last time I checked in, I was trying to convert some files from multiple different places to a single place. And I had a long list of short stories I've compiled over the years and I combined into one list here about all those short stories. I have officially gotten all the documents I knew about in the various places I've mentioned in previous videos, previous vlogs, moved to those files. There are still stories I have to find, but they're not, there are stories that are going to require more digging because they're not in the locations I knew about. But I do have more files I have to look through, both on Google Drive where I put them and various other locations from where I started compiling in the past and didn't finish. So the cool thing about doing these vlogs and talking to you guys about them is that if I do get confused on what I'm doing and I don't know where I stopped, I can just review these files and find it again. But I got done with what I wanted to get done, which was my main concern before this weekend. Everything else that I have left to do is either handwritten stories that I have to type up and put in the files, or they're in other locations that I don't know about yet. Or they might be stories that I just do not have copies of anymore. It happens. And once I have everything converted over and I have check marks next to everything on my list or crossed it off, I will then I will then create a brand new list with the most updated files. The other thing I wanted to do possibly is I want to play around with naming conventions as far as like what I'm naming documents. On my last vlog, Mama Ward gave me some ideas of how she names hers, and I'm going to try that with a couple of my files and see how I like it. I may stick with it, I may not, but it sounded like a good idea the way she was doing it, so I at least want to try it and see how I like it. I might not stick with it, but that's the beauty of trying things, is that if it doesn't work, you just do it a different way. So anyways, I need to go wake up my kids because it's time for them to get ready for school, and yeah, that's pretty much all I needed to update you guys on anyways. So yeah, that's where I stand, and I'm ready for this weekend finally. I know exactly what I want to work on. I want to finish Presumed Dead first, and then I want to work on apparently a meowing cat, and then I want to work on a buck short. I'm really hoping I will get both of those finished before the end of April. We got 5 days left. Let's do it. So I took my list of short stories from the notebook I've been using and I added it into my 2025 to 2029 word and project tracker. I had added a projects list on there, which is like all novels and series and stuff like that, but I added a separate list that's just short stories. And so let me flip this around so you guys can see what I've done there, because if I try to describe it, I'm gonna get myself confused, partially because I'm tired. I've got a couple more hours left at work, but this is where I'm standing currently. So here is my tracker. I've got 4 columns. One says whether or not it's organized, it's a checkbox, and then complete. I will have to go back through. I'm going to start with one story at a time and go back through and check all of them to make sure they're actually complete, or if I need to figure out from there. Title of the story, I've got this sorted in alphabetical order by title currently, and then what year it was written. And then for the combinations, because I don't know what year that was, and I've got 2 different combinations, 2004 to 2007 plus 2013 to 2020, because those were the years where I really didn't have any records at all of like what was written when. I have 220 stories on this list, and I think there's only 21 or so, 22 that have not been found, and some of them are handwritten. I've got to type them up and put them in their subsequent document. The rest are like, I don't know where they're at, so they might get deleted from this list. But yeah, I updated and created a list with all the short stories I've written in my lifetime that I have records of still. I think my oldest records are 2004. I know I've written stories before then, but that's my oldest records. So anything that's written before then will just be lumped in as if it is a 2004 to 2007, even if it's not. But most of the stuff I wrote before then I don't have any records of anymore. So yeah.
She is very active. I like her a lot.
She's pretty.
This is what I have to deal with. Now imagine this when you're trying to sleep.
Since I forgot to do a final update over the weekend, we did complete the 12-hour marathon. We started off on Steph's channel. I was a little bit late, like 20 minutes late to that. But I was able to hang out with her over on her channel for about 6 hours. Then we took like an hour break where we got food and snacks and drinks and just stretch breaks before we hopped over to my channel where we did another 6 hours. And it went good. I did not get a lot of writing done during Steph's stream at all. We did like 3 or 4 sprints and I could not focus on anything and I kept hopping between projects. Part of it was because Ogre kept squeaking his ball, which you saw in the last clip. And so like I had to keep muting myself when I wasn't talking because he would keep squeaking the ball. It was great. It was fantastic. But I just could not concentrate on anything really, and I don't know exactly what it was. It could have been that, could have been location, could have been just that I was not interested in the story. But during my stream, after I moved back into the kitchen, where I should have been all along, honestly, I really buckled down and got some work in. And it might have been due to the fact that the girls were already in bed by then, and it was just less distractions around me. I don't know exactly what it was. I found my second win, I do know that, because I was extremely tired during Steph's sprints as well. But her stream was more chatting than sprinting, which was fine, and mine was like a healthy mix of both for the most part. But I feel accomplished because I accomplished one of the projects that I wanted to finish. I wanted to complete that final chapter in Presumed Dead, at least the second draft of that final chapter, and I did complete that. So I'm going to let it sit for a week or two, probably until mid-May, and then I'm going to go ahead and run through that one more time with one more edit before I start looking for beta readers. And then the other thing I did during that stream, I did not work on a buck short at all, which was my other project that I had planned on working on, but I did read through the second story, which I had wrote for June's 7-day book project last year, 7-day book challenge last year. I wrote 2 and started 4. There was another story I wrote, but it was supposed to be number 3, but it ended up going to a new series. That's a whole convoluted story we're not getting into right now. But I read through what I had written for 2, and I knew when I wrote 2 that it wasn't going the way I wanted it to. There was some things that I knew at the moment I finished it. I was like, I don't like the way that went. I'm going to change that, and I'm going to rewrite it. And I can't remember what those things were. So I was hoping that when I read back through it, I would remember and jolt my memory. No, but I do know some ideas, and they might have been the same ideas, they might be different ideas that I want to work with when I go back and rewrite it. So, because the second story is more of a second chance romance, dryer's about to go off. Don't mind that, that's the dryer. I need to pull stuff out of and fold them. Anyways, what the second story is more like a second chance romance, except for they were never a couple. There was feelings on his side for her that he never revealed, but she was always with someone, and then something happened to him and he joined the supernatural community, and when he did, they lost contact with each other, and now they're in contact with each other because of a mutual friend of both of theirs who has her business card, and he has a problem he needs her help solving. So with all that in mind, I have some general ideas of the rewrite I want to do, and then I'm hoping to hop right into story 3 when I work on that, after I work on that, because story 3 I actually am brimming with ideas for, and if I can complete those 2 in the next couple months, I can finish up the 4th story, which I was halfway through when I wrote it for the 7-day book challenge. So I'm trying to get as much done on those stories as I can because I would like to get them all written, edited, polished, ready to go for publication before next year starts. That is the goal, but we'll see what happens. Anyways, this weekend was really good. I'm really happy with everything I did, and I'm looking forward. We're already planning, kind of, sort of, not exactly. We've already talked about planning another 12-hour marathon, and I know exactly what I'll do differently versus what we did this time. Like, one of the things I want to do differently is the fact that I want to make sure I'm not doing anything the day of so I can, get plenty of sleep. And we've talked about adding more channels to do streams. We've talked about I would like to probably get a hotel room so that I can write in peace without outside distractions such as the dogs, the cats, people, other noises outside of my own computer and music and stuff. So, just some things we'll keep in mind for the next one, which we were thinking about doing possibly in July. We're still open. We haven't even talked about it since we ended the stream, or the first marathon. But, the only other thing that's coming up soon is the 7-day book challenge. We're going to do the next one. We did talk about that on stream. We're going to do it June 15th through 22nd, I think. The third week of June, because the final weekend in June is the AWC, and we were trying not to cross over with that, so we changed the dates to the third week in June. So whatever that is, the Monday through Sunday of the third week of June, that's when we're doing the next 7-day book challenge. So look forward to that, and that's all I have for this vlog. I'm thinking I'm going to go ahead and wrap this up here, and I will see you all in the next vlog. Bye, Dragonlings.